Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it's Javier here with the real Javier Novoa, a channel, a platform, and a modality which changes the game for you, ladies and gentlemen, helping you to live free by utilizing all of the tools basically from interiorism and from just good common business sense. We have a lot of practical videos coming out this week and in the coming weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, we're maturing as a channel and we're going past simply talking about the general principles and the frameworks, even though we will continue talking about those. But we're starting to move into the concrete, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the concrete where you'll be able to start practicing these principles, where you'll start being able to see those massive changes in your life and feel that rush of adrenaline. It's why you came. We're already going very deeply into the concrete in our coaching calls. And if you'd like to take your modality to the next level, to do business with someone who has experience in business and in consulting and in living free, guys, and in all the modalities of interiorism and manifestation, send me an email at javier_novoa@hotmail.com. I will put my email in the description. I also invite you on the front end. If you find value in these videos, please do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button so that you'll be notified with every release of a new video that we do. And also, you'll be helping us get the word out. Let's get this word out whose time has come. Let's help as many people as possible live free. So, today, guys, about a week ago, I got one of these downloads in meditation. If you get deep enough into that alpha state, into that state of meditation, sometimes, if not many times, you will get direct pieces of information just downloaded to your mind. And I got this download, and I basically had the distinct impression, share this with a lot of your people, share this with your subscribers, because it's going to change the game for them in manifesting. And when they apply this information, you'll be able to really move on from this and start getting into the nitty gritty of how to live free. So I want to do this. I want to impart to you the principles that were basically revealed to me. And it's not coincidental, guys. It's serendipitous. It's divinely inspired that I've been getting a lot of emails and a lot of questions like this. What am I doing wrong? How do I do it right? Javier, I really want to consult with you because I tried manifesting in the past and something didn't work out, and I want to give it another go. Ladies and gentlemen, this video is going to click the game of manifestation for you, and you need not ever watch a video about manifesting again. Of course, we will do that because it's fun. We will be making more, but this is the essence. You see, in all mystical traditions, religious traditions, they always have at their essence three principles or something to do with the number three. And while I'm not exactly a scholar as to why this is the case, of course, I know there are explanations as to why, and perhaps we'll research into that and make another video. But in Christianity, you have the Trinity. In Islam, you also have the Quran speaking about a Trinity, but it has Miriam or Mary as part of that Trinity. In the Egyptian pantheon, you have three. You always have this number three. And here's why. We're going to explain it to you very simply. I'm not going to go into the background again, but I'm going to go into what my inspired understanding is. You have, first of all, a generative principle that is part of the one. Remember, because the three is actually an illusion. The three all stems from the one because we all started and are still in the one. You can refer to my past videos about the Gnostic story of Sophia, who was the one, but basically then slept and dreamed herself as a separate entity, and then all creation stemming from that entity. It's really fascinating. But at root, it's all one. So the three are actually components of the one. That's why Orthodox Trinity talks about one God, three persons, those persona. Persona is already a division because Persona comes from the Latin for sound. It's a mask. So when people say, I am my own person, I have my own personality, yes, your personality is a mask. It is not the true one. The true one resides within you, and you are an expression of it. You as your ego self, I, Javier Novoa, as my ego self, am not it, but I am it at the deeper root of my being. Therefore, that it can permeate the temporary form and flow through me. I hope you understand me just a little bit. We probably got a little bit on a tangent there, but it's very important to understand. So these three principles. One of the principles is always the spirit. And it's that spirit which animates both of the principles. This is why Eastern and Western Christianity split, because the Eastern Orthodox Church would say that the Spirit proceeds from the Father, but the Catholics would say that he proceeds from the Father and the Son. And in reality, these are simply two perspectives on the same one truth. The Spirit is what animates both of them. It's what gives them life. And it is the same with these two principles, and we can say one mechanism, guys. So I'm going to give you 2 steps today, 2 simple steps to manifesting, which are both permeated by one mechanism. The first step, or the first level of manifesting. And once you understand this, guys, all questions about should I take action, what action should I take, when should I act, am I doing it right, what tool should I apply, will become irrelevant, and it will all drop into place for you. So listen up, guys. This is a little bit of a deep dive. Take notes if you have to. I want you to get very present, and I want you to listen up to this presentation, because it's going to revolutionize your manifesting game forever. And it is a game, by the way. So the first component of this is being. It's what we talk about all the time. It's state. Remember Neville Goddard's central thesis, central contention, which he drew from interiorism, from works like the Kybalion, from Hermes and others, from earlier mystical works, is this. There is the true me, which we just talked about, which is being itself. And then there is what the me is conscious of, which the true me sort of forgets itself and dreams that consciousness. But the point is that there's the I am, which is the true me, and then there's the I am this. And anytime you're existing as an individual or as a person, you are this, that, or the other. But if you understand that you are even above that, and that you are not this, what does that do? That gives you the license and the liberty to change simply and immediately whatever comes after that I am. So for example, I am an American, right? Well, if I was simply living in the human fleshly consciousness, then I would just see the fact, well, I'm an American, therefore I must support X, Y, and Z, right? But if you have that consciousness of, wait a minute, before the I am an American comes the I am. Therefore, I am an American is simply an image, a reflection, just like any other image. Therefore, whatever that and whatever it entails can be changed. Then you will have the consciousness to say, I am, and then I decide what I support. That's just one simple example. But the first principle that stems from the I am, it states that there is a space in the I am, and you can choose whatever contents you want to be conscious of. Therefore, you can change anything in your world immediately. There's no work. There's no steps. The only step is that you imprint upon the universe and upon your subconsciousness what you want to be, and you declare, I am that. So if you see your circumstances surrounding you saying that you're poor and that you're in debt, but you want to be a millionaire because you can sense what it would feel like to be a millionaire, then all you have to do is go within. And of course, there are many tools and methods for this that we teach in other videos. But all you have to do is go within and say, no, I am a millionaire. And immediately at that time, without anything having to happen, without any steps, without any bridge, you are that because you are conscious of being that. Of course, while you're in the 3D, once you open your eyes again, there's, of course, what Abraham Hicks is going to call a time lag. So the past expressions are still going to be there. And it's as if the universe is asking you a question. Do you really want this? If you go back within and say, no, I am a millionaire, and it need not necessarily be saying that, there are many techniques, and again, we'll go through those in other videos, and we have gone through those. But if you basically go within and keep reverting to that state until it becomes your normal interior state, and until then the circumstances begin to take form around that, then you've passed the test and you've told the universe yes. Now, this test thing is simply an analogy to help you understand. This is the first level, the first step. It is getting into the state of that, and know that that's all that has to be done. Because remember, these two steps are actually one. That's the paradox that we talked about earlier in this channel. Everything is one. When we divide things up, it's simply for the perspective, the perspectiva, the foreseeing, basically, for us to basically chop it down and to see it and to understand it. So for our perspective, we're seeing this as two steps when it's really only one step. Okay, the second step, or the second modality that is simultaneously going on with the first modality, and you have to have systems thinking, and perhaps we'll do another video on systems thinking. You cannot see an effect or a phenomenon as existing alone, because nothing exists alone, because everything in this illusion, in this Maya, in this simulation, is interconnected, because again, everything is everything else. You look at the yin and the yang, it always has this, the aspect always has the seeds of its opposite within it. So the two steps have to be seen together. You cannot just simply say, oh no, I'm just in this one step and therefore I can ignore the other step, or I can push back the other step, because both steps are present in each step. And if you don't understand me, it's likely many of you will say, and I've had in the comments, what is this madman rambling about? You can choose to see it as rambling, or you can choose to actually contemplate upon it, in which case it will become a truth for you. The truth of it will be evident for you, and it will revolutionize your manifesting game. And the question is, are you ready to create what you came to create? If you're ready to create what you came to create, if you're ready to live free, if you're ready to stop living as a slave and a victim, you must internalize these two very simple steps that I'm giving you and start to play with it, guys. So the second step, the second modality is circumstances, surroundings, and what Neville Goddard called the bridge. And what you have, and it can be very succinctly termed as the path, but I don't like using the term path, because the path makes it seem as if I'm simply walking this path to get somewhere. But if you've successfully internalized the first step, you're not doing anything to get anywhere. You're doing it because you're already there, guys. You're already there. And so it's the path, guys. It's the unfoldment. And what's the order of the day here? It's very simple, guys. And if you read a great book by Wattles, and I believe it's called How to Get Rich, or The Science of Getting Rich. And he talks about the person who's rich does his work in a certain way. And he permeates his book with examples of a certain way. For example, when you set up a business, you're doing that business to serve the consumers in the best way that you can. You're focused and active in everything that you do. You're not thinking about something else while you're doing it. You're completely present, as Eckhart Tolle says. But he never explains what this certain way is. Guys, this certain way is the key to being able to utilize the second step without actually utilizing it. Because if you're utilizing it, you're not doing it in a certain way. Here's the paradox again. But it's the only way that's going to be enabling you to have this second step, supercharge your manifestations, and actually see things come quicker on the 3D on this film roll. And I'm going to tell you what the certain way is. The certain way is you take action as if you're taking it after your desire has taken place, not before. Let me repeat that again. You take action as if you were taking that action after your desire taken place. And why is that, guys? Because the path, in order for it to fit into this law of assumption, law of attraction, if what Neville and Abraham Hicks and others are saying is true, the only way to fit a path or a gap of incidents into that narrative is to know and understand that the path is an aspect of that desire. So the desire is already done. The path is just the way that you as the universe have chosen to unfold it to yourself as the persona, as the individual, in the most pleasurable way and in a way that goes under, above, and around your hangups. I hope you understand me just a little bit, and I'll give an example. Let's just say that your desire is to be a millionaire. So I want $1 million. Then I take the first step and I go within to my inner chamber, to my inner temple, and through some exercise. And we're going to give you processes for this, but we don't want you to get stuck with one process. A different process is going to work at different times and at different periods. And we're going to get into the emotional scale, but it could be robotic affirming. It could be imagining the scene of what you would get after that. It could be simply saying, I am a millionaire. Whatever that is for you at that time. You go within, and then you appropriate that state. And appropriating it means no matter what happens on the outer, you still feel as if you already have that state. That's the proof that you've appropriated it, and you'll also have this feeling of relief. Once you get that state, so what action would you take if you were already a millionaire? Well, you might work, and many millionaires love to work. I know Elon Musk, the multi-billionaire, works 16 hours a day. Of course, this is not work as the lower classes define it. This is actual work out of love. So what you do is you have to go to work that day because the outer is still not reflecting you that $1 million bank account. But what do? You say, no, now I am in step 2, the path, but I now have to do this in a certain way to reflect to the universe that I already have it, not to do that, but simply for the joy of it. And then you go to work as if you were a millionaire saying, you know what? I don't have to do this job, but I'm just going to pretend, even though you may hate the job, I'm going to pretend that I love this job, and I'm going to actually try to enjoy serving other people at this job for just a temporary phase as long as this unfoldment is going on. And you work as if you're a millionaire, and now you're working not out of fear, you're working not for money. Of course, that's a part of it, and you're going to receive the paycheck, but in the forefront of your mind, you're working not for money, but you're working just in order to serve and to enjoy and to complete your purpose. Then you go home and you say, you know what? A millionaire has a business, and I think I might want to have a business. I need somewhere to invest my millions. And you start ideating about starting a business, not because you have to start a business, not because you have to start a business to make money, which may be true on that film roll, but simply because I'm a millionaire. And that's what millionaires do. I hope you understand these examples. This is working in what Wallace Wattles calls a certain way. These are the 2 steps, guys. Very simple, no frills. Get into the state, and we've got various videos on how to do that. We will be making videos on how to do that. And then work in the certain way, guys. And when you do these two steps in conjunction, and remember, it's not one or the other, it's one and the other. When you do them in conjunction, inspired work will start coming to you, where you will simply be pulled through the tasks that need to be completed. And it doesn't even feel that you're working, guys. You'll feel like you're having fun. I have the great investor Jim Rogers on, who I'm sure does not consciously understand or subscribe to interiorism or law of assumption or anything like that. But he said, Javier, I didn't even feel like I had a job. I did what I loved. And this man worked like a crazy man around the clock. They would travel to research investments, but he didn't feel like it was working. Why? Because he was in the zone. Once you get into these two steps, subconsciously or consciously, you will get into the zone, and everything that you want will simply be brought to you, although on the outer it may look like you're working. Now, what's the third aspect, which is the spirit aspect, which unites these all? We could say it's the arrow in the circle of that system. It is the emotional scale of Abraham Hicks. It's feeling. How do you know you have done step one correctly? How do you know that this method of manifesting or this method of affirming is for you? I get questions all the time. How do I know how many times I should imagine it, Javier? Should I schedule myself to imagine it at 10 o'clock in the morning and then 10 o'clock in the evening? How many times a day should I imagine it? Shh. Get present, guys. Feel. Your feelings will tell you, guys, whether you're doing it right. Now, this doesn't mean to stop everything for your feelings. This doesn't mean to accept your feelings as the end all and be all. This does mean to use your feelings as an indicator. And if you feel good about a certain method, guess what? That method of getting into state right here, right now is for you, and it's serving you. If you don't feel like you're doing a good job, or if you feel, no, I shouldn't have said that, but if you feel nervous or if you feel negative emotion, that means try something else. And then in the second modality of this, working in the certain way, also feeling is going to be your guide. Javier, should I sit on the couch after I imagine? Because Joe Dispenza, if you don't know these two steps and you don't know the modality we're talking about today, it seems as if some of the self-help people and some of the spiritual teachers are contradicting themselves. Because in two different meditations, Joe Dispenza says, sit down and I allow it to come to me. And I just allow the circumstances to unfold. And in another one, he said, you cannot just imagine a Ferrari and sit on the couch and get the Ferrari. Trevor Blake talked about this. You cannot just imagine and sit on the couch. Is that not a contradiction, Javier? No. Why? Because if you're sitting on the couch after you imagined and you're feeling jittery, and you're feeling guilty because you're not doing something, and you're feeling inspired to an action, but then feel fear, oh, I might not be able to do that. Your inspiration is telling you, go to this Ferrari dealership. But then your mind is telling you, they're going to think I'm a fool because I don't have any money. The conflict begins. Then that thing is being repelled from you. Why? Because you're not following your intuition and inspiration. And when that happens, guys, there's one sure way to get back on track. And I hinted on it in the last video. If you're being troubled in your mind, that is, you're being troubled in step one. That is, for some reason, you're just not able to get into the state of that. Even though know that you are in the state, no matter how you feel, it will get there eventually. But what do? Go to step two. Let your feelings guide you and say, you know what? I'm trying to get into the state mentally, but I am mind and body. Therefore, I will go into my body. I'll take a cold shower. I'll do some push-ups. I'll do anything that feels a little bit better. I'll make a phone call that could perhaps take me closer to my goal. And then lo and behold, you'll be in that better feeling place and you'll get inspired. If you're taking action after action, I'm trying to build my business, Javier. I can't make any money. I have no sales. I had a very famous law of attraction coach a few years ago, guys, a very famous coach tell me, I don't know what to do. I'm not bringing in, I'm working just as hard in this modality of manifestation, but I'm not making the same money as my job. I'm in despair. What do? I'm trying to find an idea. Stop trying to find an idea at that point. Go to the second modality. If you're working and nothing you're doing works, take a break, meditate, breathe, then allow it to come to you. You see, you can switch between these two modalities easily and effortlessly because they're really one modality, and the spirit that holds it all together is how do I feel, guys. If you never watch anything else about manifestation again, this video is going to change the whole landscape for you guys. Understand these two simple steps of manifestation, getting into state and doing things according to that certain way, which is do it as if you're doing it after you have received what you want, because you have received what you want, because you are what you want. A lot of interesting videos coming up this week, guys. We've got the scientific proofs of interiorism. We're going to start going into how to live free, how to get off the prison grid. So you don't want to miss that. Again, please subscribe and like to the channel. I am doing coaching calls. I will put my email in the description. Until very soon, guys, with much love and appreciation, this is Javier with The Real Javier Novoa. Have a great week. Ciao.